This is the real story of Alibaba. Not just a business, but a movement that began with nothing and changed the future of business for good. This is the story of a man who didn't have no money, no support, no connections, and still made one of the strongest businesses in the world. This is the story of Jack Ma, a man who looked for one simple thing on the web and ended up making a billion-dollar empire. This isn't just a story about success. It's a story of faith, doubt, and growing from nothing. And as you listen, you clear his throat, won't just learn about Alibaba. Your English will get better, as will your vocabulary and your self-esteem in every sentence. Before we start, please make sure to sign up, because this is the best way to learn English by reading real stories. Part 1. The man who couldn't find a single beer. Jack Ma was born in 1964 in a small town named Hao, China. At that point, China was still a country that was closed. There was no internet, no freedom to trade with the world, and very few people from other countries. His family didn't have much money. His mom and dad were musicians who play in the traditional way. They didn't have no money, no special jobs, no rich family. Jack Ma was short, thin, not strong, and not good at math. He failed in school a lot. He really did fail his test to get into middle school twice. He didn't pass the college test 2 times. He didn't get the job again and again. When KFC first came to China, people sent in applications. 23 got the job. The only person turned down, Jack Ma. Even the police turned him down because he was too weak. He tried everything and failed. Everything. But he had one thing that no one else did. One could stop. A dream and a mouth that never stopped trying. In 1995, Jack Ma went to the U.S. for the first time. A friend showed him something that changed his life for good. It was named the web. Jack typed one word into a engine for searching beer, and the results came from all over the world. Beer from Germany, beer from the U.S., beer from Japan, but no beer from China. He wrote China, no results. There was nothing about his country on the web. And at that moment, something clicked in his head. If no one is showing China to the rest of the world, then I will. That little thought, that innocent search, would be the beginning of Alibaba. Jack Ma went back to China. He and his wife and a friend started there. China was the first internet company. Pages, an easy-to-use online directory. It didn't work, but Jack kept going. In 1999, he called from his small apartment, 17 friends, and told them a simple idea. Let's make a place on the internet where businesses in China can sell their things to the world. Everyone laughed. No one believed in online shopping. No one had faith in Jack Ma. Banks, too, wouldn't give him any money. But those 17 friends agreed. They gave him $60,000 with their own money. No office, no belief, not resources. In the name of the business, Alibaba. People always want to know why Alibaba, Jack Ma said, because everyone knows the story of Alibaba and the 40 thieves. He is a nice, smart man who opens the treasure cave with the magic words, "Open Sesame." It was easy to spell Alibaba and easy to remember, and it meant something to everyone. Jack Ma wanted his business to open the treasure for small businesses all over the world. That was the goal. This is the truth. Jack Ma didn't know how to write code. He wasn't a software engineer. He didn't even know how to make websites. But he had something stronger. He knew how to pitch an idea. He knew how to put together a team. He knew how to talk with a fire in his heart. I'm not a tech person. I'm looking at Technology through the eyes of my customers. Alibaba was more than just a business. It was a goal to make it easy to do business anywhere. Jack Ma thought that small businesses were the real heroes of the economy, but they didn't have any power. He wanted to give them a place to buy and sell, but also to be seen and heard. Grow in a world where Amazon and America were. Jack Ma thought that China could also make something that is the best in the world. People laughed. They said, "You're late. There are already leaders on the internet." But Jack Ma smiled and said, "E-commerce is not a fight between businesses. It's a fight of thoughts. And my plan is for the people." So the first things Alibaba did were slow. The office was small. The team worked long hours and they had a clear goal, though. They began to build a business-to-business platform for small Chinese factories might be able to connect with buyers from all over the world. They didn't charge a fee. They wanted users, so they made it free. And the magic started to happen slowly. Chapter 2. War with eBay. The battle for China's future. The idea came about after Alibaba was getting bigger. Thousands of small Chinese companies were signing up for the platform. But Jack knew something ideas aren't. They needed real money, putting money into it to keep the dream alive. You know what? No one wanted to give money to Alibaba. Why? The company didn't have any. Jack Ma didn't look like a CEO. There were just a lot of little things on the website, factories and stores in the area. But Jack, he didn't stop. He flew all over the world and kept saying, "I want to build a business that helps small businesses, that helps them win." In 1999, Alibaba got $5 million from Goldman Sachs. And not long after that, SoftBank, Masayoshi's son, runs a Japanese company, donated $20 million. Now Alibaba had air and Jack Ma had hope. But keep in mind that money doesn't mean safety. The storm was about to start. While Alibaba was building a global business in China, eBay was watching, and eBay was already a superpower in the West. It had billions of sales and millions of users, and a big team. eBay started in. They bought the biggest Chinese company in China. EachNet was the best auction site at the time, and started to grow quickly. eBay was making a lot of money. eBay had a brand and technology. People said Alibaba is dead. eBay will eat them alive. Jack Ma heard. And do you know what he said? "We're going to fight. This is our home." Jack knew he couldn't win against eBay by copying them. So he made the decision to do the eBay, on the other hand, was all about auctions. Jack Ma was all about trust. eBay was a worldwide platform. Jack said, "I will make a Chinese platform for Chinese people." He started a new website called Taobao, which means looking for treasure. And the war officially started. eBay charged its users fees for listing and fees for transactions. Taobao is completely free. eBay was like English design. Taobao is in full Chinese. Bright colors, emojis like a local. Jack focused on making money on eBay, focused on trust and community. And he did something that no one saw coming. He added a way to send messages inside Taobao, so before, buyers and sellers could talk to each other. Buying. This simple idea made people trust it. It wasn't just click and pay anymore. It turned into talk, ask, and connect. It felt like real shopping. And little by little, Chinese people loved Taobao. eBay thought they would be the best, but they never understood the Chinese user. They thought that because they were big, everyone would have followed, but they didn't adapt. They didn't listen. Tao, on the other hand, kept changing. Jack Ma worked with small sellers. He gave them tools, training, and help. Said, Alibaba is not trying to beat eBay. We're here to help small businesses win. And slowly the tide began to change. One of the biggest problems in China was people were scared. If I send online money, what if I don't get the product? So Jack Ma came up with something strong, a new system called Alipay, a service that kept the money safe while the middle. This is how it worked. One, the buyer pays Alipay. Second, the seller sends the product. Third, only when the buyer Alipay sends the money after delivery is confirmed to the seller. This was a big deal in China. It took away fear it made. But guess what? It was also against the law at the time. There were no laws helping with this kind of money system. And Jack told people when they asked, don't you think this is against the rules? He said, if someone has to, let people break the rules to serve. Let me. He had that kind of fire. While Taobao was getting bigger quickly, so eBay made a deadly mistake. They moved their Chinese moving operations to the US. Instead of, they tried to build a local team, control everything from the US. This made Chinese users feel like they were not connected. Sellers were angry. Customers. Service failed. Jack Ma, on the other hand, kept his. The whole team in Zhou, working day and night. Alibaba became faster, better, and more Chinese than eBay could ever be. The war was over by 2006. Over. The big company eBay had lost China. Taobao had 80% of the market, and eBay closed, shut down its local site, and became almost not important in China. Jack Ma and his team had won. A small group of people who believed, with no experience, no power, and no outside help, had beaten a billion-dollar company. Huge. And the world took notice. Let's stop for a moment and think. Alibaba didn't win because it was better in tech. It won because it knew. Jack Ma thought something about people. Strong. Customers come first. Investors come in second. And employees come in third. 3. He chased profit while others chased it. Trust. He looked at the world while others looked at it. Local. While others followed the plan, he followed my heart. Let's start with 1. Jack Ma once told his friends a crazy idea. Team. He stood in front of them and said, we will start a business that lives for 102 years. There was no sound in the room. People laughed. Some thought he was. Jack Ma said Alibaba as a joke, but began in 1999. That's 102 if it lasts until 21101. Years over the course of 3 centuries. That's what he meant. He didn't want a quick company. He wanted a forever business. Not a company that makes money, but a business with a goal. Most people only. You should know the name Alibaba. But Jack Ma was not just one, but an empire. Business. This is what he did. 1. Alibaba.com. The B2B platform links factories and businesses all over the world. 2. Taobao. C2C platform. People selling to other people. Similar to eBay, but better for people in China. 3. Brand selling on the Tmall B2C platform. High quality directly to customers. High-end platform. 4. Alipay digital. Wallet and payment service that is quick and safe. And in every place. 5. Kinyao logistics network to fix the problem with deliveries all over China. 6. Alibaba Cloud is a cloud computing service. The brain behind the operations is the system. Jack wasn't only making apps. He was making a whole system where people could buy, pay for, ship, and grow their business without leaving Alibaba's world. It was like PayPal and Amazon together, plus Google Cloud and FedEx all in one. Jack said, "We're not a tech company, though. We are not a company for things. We are a company for people." Smartphones grew quickly in the early 2000s. In China, people began to buy everything on their phones, and Alibaba was made for people who use computers. Jack Ma and his team had to move quickly. Choice. Switch the whole platform to move or die, like a lot of businesses that couldn't change. So they put all their money on the line. They changed the design of the apps. They did easier payments. They made mobile promotions. They trained sellers to use mobile tools, and it worked. People in small towns, farmers, students, and old people, everyone could now use Alibaba in their pocket. This mobile shift helped Alibaba reach 800 million users inside China alone. Jack Ma was ready for the next step. He said, "We built Alibaba for China. Now, we want the world to know us." So in 2014, Alibaba decided to go public. Not in China, not in Hong Kong, but in New York City on the New York Stock Exchange. It was a bold move. Most Chinese companies stayed inside China, but Jack Ma believed if you want to be global, you must play on the global stage. On the day of the IPO initial public offering, the financial world was watching. Big screens in Times Square were showing Alibaba's logo. Reporters, investors, CEOs, everyone was waiting. And then Alibaba raised $25 billion in one day. It became the biggest IPO in history. Bigger than Google, bigger than Facebook, bigger than Amazon. The company was now worth over $230 billion. And Jack Ma, the English teacher who had been rejected by KFC, was now one of the richest people in the world. After the IPO, Jack Ma gave a speech that made headlines across the world. He said, "Today is not the success of Alibaba. Today is the success of all the small businesses who believed in us." He thanked his team. He thanked the users. He even thanked the people who rejected him because they gave him strength. He didn't talk about money. He talked about mission. Let's break it down in simple terms. Alibaba's IPO was not just big because of the money. It was big because it showed that a Chinese company could win globally. It showed that helping small people could create a big impact. It gave hope to millions of people who thought they had no chance in business. Jack Ma became a symbol not of wealth, but of what's possible when you never give up. After the IPO, Jack Ma became famous. He was invited to speak at world economic forums, meet world leaders, teach at Harvard and Stanford, sit with Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Barack Obama. But he always said, "I'm not a genius. I'm just a normal person who works harder than most." He wore no expensive watches. He used no private jet. He lived simply and spoke from the heart. His voice cracked when he talked about failure. His eyes lit up when he talked about young people. He said the next Jack Ma will come from a village, not from a big city, not from a rich family, but from a big dream. After the IPO, millions of people across China and the world began starting there. On online shops, through Tao and Tamal, small farmers were selling apples. Young girls were selling handmade bags. Old women were teaching classes through Alibaba Cloud. It became more than a business. It became a movement. Chapter 3. Storms at the Top. The best test of power, politics, and principles. Alibaba was no longer just a company. It had become a bank, a light, a shopping mall, Tmall, a search engine, a logistics system, a cloud service provider, a media influencer. In simple words, Alibaba was controlling more than just commerce. It was now a system. The Chinese government began to notice. They started thinking, wait, this company is getting too powerful, too big, too free, and in China no one is allowed to be bigger than the system. In October 2020, Jack Ma gave a speech in Shanghai. He stood on stage in front of hundreds of people, business leaders, bankers, investors, and he said something bold. He criticized China's financial system. He said China's banks still operate like pawn shops. The future should not depend on collateral. It should depend on innovation. People gasped. He was calling out the very structure of the Chinese economy. He said regulations were outdated. He said Alibaba's fintech system was the future. He said change must come. That speech changed everything. Remember, Alipay? It had now grown into a huge financial company called Ant Group, offering loans, insurance, payments, and investment tools. It was planning a new IPO in November 2020. This IPO was expected to raise $34.50 billion, even bigger than Alibaba's 2014 IPO. It was going to be the biggest financial launch in world history. Everyone was excited. Then suddenly, 2 days before the IPO, the Chinese government stopped it. Just like that, billions were frozen. Investors were shocked. Jack Ma disappeared from the public eye for months. After the IPO was canceled, Jack Ma vanished. He didn't appear in public. He didn't post. He didn't speak. People started asking, where is Jack Ma? Some thought he had been arrested. Some said he was silenced. Some said he was under house arrest. But the truth was he was being warned. In China, if you become too bold, you pay the price. And Jack Ma had spoken too loud, too freely, too globally. After the Ant Group cancellation, the government started antitrust investigations against Alibaba. They accused Alibaba of monopolistic behavior, forcing sellers to use only their platform, unfair competition, controlling too much of the market. In April 2021, the Chinese government fined Alibaba $2.80 billion, the largest fine in China's tech history. It was a clear message. You are powerful, but you are not above the system. After the storm, Alibaba had to change. They started doing 3 major things. 1. Regulatory alignment. Alibaba worked closely with government officials to show compliance and cooperation. 2. Business decentralization. Alibaba started breaking itself into multiple parts to reduce risk. This included separate divisions for cloud, e-commerce, local services, logistics, digital media. 3. Jack Ma stepping back. Jack Ma slowly removed himself from leadership positions. He reduced public appearances. He began a new chapter, educating rural teachers, focusing on philanthropy and staying quiet. Alibaba's stock began to fall. Investors were nervous. Many asked, is this the end of Alibaba? But let's understand something clearly. Alibaba still had hundreds of millions of users. It still made tens of billions of dollars in revenue. It still had the biggest cloud platform. In China, it still dominated online shopping and logistics. Yes, it was a storm. Yes, it was a warning. But no, Alibaba was not dead. It was being reshaped, not for growth, but for survival. While the world was talking about politics and power, Jack Ma was somewhere quiet, thinking deeply. He once said, when you are small, you must be very focused and rely on your brain. When you are big, you must be humble and rely on your heart. He knew this was a time not to fight, but to listen, to adjust, to survive. He told his team, "This is winter. We must prepare, but winter never stays forever." Over the next few years, Jack Ma changed his focus. He started projects to help rural teachers and education in small villages. He launched programs to support small startups in agriculture. He traveled quietly to Europe, Japan, and other parts of Asia. He avoided interviews, speeches, and global headlines. He stepped out of the spotlight. He allowed Alibaba to evolve without him at the front. This was wisdom, not weakness. Let's look at what Alibaba looked like after the government crackdown. Alibaba Division Focus Area. Taobao and Tmall Group online shopping platforms. Alibaba Cloud Computing AI Services. Network Logistics Smart Warehouses. And Group Alipay Digital Finance Payments. Local Services Group Food Delivery. Travel, etc. Alibaba International Global Expansion. Lazada AliExpress Digital Media and Entertainment Video Streaming. Music Content. Each of these became a separate unit. This made Alibaba more stable, more transparent, and ready for the next era. Before completely stepping away, Jack Ma gave one last major message. Today is difficult. Tomorrow is more difficult. But the day after tomorrow is beautiful. Most people die tomorrow night. If you can hold on till the day after tomorrow, you'll win. This was not just about business. It was about life. After the pressure from regulators, Alibaba's board sat down and asked one question. How do we rebuild this company? Not to impress the world, but to serve it better. So they did something rare. They slowed down. They simplified. They listened. They no longer wanted to just be the biggest. They wanted to be the most helpful. This was the beginning of Alibaba's silent comeback to reduce risk and allow innovation. Alibaba took one bold step. They split into 6 independent businesses, each with its own CEO and board, and the freedom to grow. 1. Tao and Tmall Group. Online shopping in China is the focus. Power over 800 million users. Goal: serve the local customer more quickly. 2. Alibaba Cloud is cheaper and better. Group of Intelligence. Cloud focus. Computing AI data services. Power the China's biggest cloud service. Goal: AWS is a competitor of Amazon Web Services. 3. SIO Smart Logistics. Focus: storage, delivery, and logistics improvement. Power gives billions of packages a year. The goal is to become the FedEx of the East for digital companies around the world. Focus International is a group that works in commerce. AliExpress, Lazada, and other e-commerce brands. Dasel Trendy. 5. And compete with Amazon around the world. Alipay, a group that focuses on digital finance, loans, and insurance. Status is still strong, but with stricter rules. Goal: serve safely and wisely under new 6 digital media and rules. Entertainment. Focus on Youku video. Streaming, music, and gaming are all things to do. The goal is to compete. With TikTok, each unit has a 10-cent video. Now had the freedom to fly or fail quickly and try again. Alibaba figured something out. Important. We can't take over the world by. We need to understand how China acts. The world. So instead of pushing Chinese goods to every country, Alibaba started putting money into local platforms all over the world. Let's take a look at the global vision. AliExpress, gadget and fast fashion for Europe, built strong in the Middle East and South America. Spain, Poland, and other places have logistics hubs. Dubai, more than 150 million users from other countries. Lazada is in competition with Amazon and Shein, the Amazon of Southeast Asia, serving the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore. More than 140 million people use it every day. Sellers, warehouses in the area. Dars is an online store for Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, made for South Asian markets. Put your attention on trust, delivery, and shopping on your phone first. Trendio Fast, fashion in Turkey and Europe. Bought by Alibaba to learn about how people dress. Jack Ma once said in Europe, globalization shouldn't be one way. It must be about giving power to people in the area. Most people think about shopping. They forget something about platforms. Alibaba Cloud is behind everything. You need to know this. It is China's biggest cloud company. It helps banks, hospitals, apps, smart logistics, traffic systems, and cities. It gives AI and big data tools, data and analysis in real time. It helped. China fights COVID-19 by improving health. EPS. It runs Lazada, Alipay, and the goal is to be Asia's answer to AWS or Amazon Web Services. It doesn't look as good as Tao, but it's the brain and engine of the whole empire. Alibaba is not just fixing things from the past. It's making the future. Fake. AI made their own intelligence. AI was used in large language models for smart logistics for personalized shopping. Tongdi Qianwen Alibaba's chatbots built. Answer to Chat GPT Green Tech and building for the future without carbon emissions. Data centers putting money into green. Logistics helps small businesses get going. Quantum digital with low energy cost. Researching the next generation of computing. Computing power working together with colleges and labs. The goal is to find a solution 1,000 times faster than now. Alibaba is slowly becoming a deep tech company. After the government, after the crackdown, Alibaba's image needed healing. So they focused on 5. One thing is to help small businesses. Again, lower fees, more tools and training. Offers. 2. Go back to the user-first model. Customer service, help from local sellers. 3. Be more clear about your refund policies. Clear, regular reports and updates on the strategy. 4. Be humble. Stop talking about world domination. Talk about domination. Focus on service. 5. Give young people and entrepreneurs in rural areas more power. Rural e-commerce and education programs. Mentorship. They began to show the human side of their empire again. Chapter 4. What Alibaba left behind. The business that was never about making money. In 1999, Jack Ma started Alibaba with this mission to make it easy to do business anywhere. But the company made billions of dollars in sales and millions of users growth around the world. Something magical happened that never lost its spirit from the first day until today. Alibaba stayed on track with giving small businesses power, making chances for regular people, not making technology work for the weak. The strong, spreading trust, commerce, and freedom through education. Most big businesses forget where they came from. Alibaba never did, and that's why it grew into something much bigger than. It turned into a symbol for a company. A lot of people think Jack Ma built a an online billion-dollar business, a huge fintech shopping empire, business, a cloud system, and a rival, to Amazon. That's all true. But the real truth is that Jack Ma built a bridge between dreams and real life. Villages and cities, mothers without. Lots of buyers, fishermen, and money. And small shops, as well as foreign buyers. Alibaba became the global markets. Bridge where the little guy gets strong. Where you don't have to know how to speak English, or be rich, live in a big city, or famous to make something. That's what he made, and that's why. Alibaba will never die. It changed the way people think. Before Alibaba, power was for governments, banks, and large businesses, people who speak English and wear suits. But Alibaba gave farmers, tailors, and students, grandparents, and people from the village. All of a sudden, anyone could open a store, ship products all over the world. That changed the rules of the game, brought millions into the digital, the economy. Alibaba didn't just make people rich. It made people richer and created more than 100 million jobs in a direct and indirect way. Millions of small businesses, delivery, drivers, warehouse workers, and content. People who made things and villagers who now run successful online stores. This wasn't. It was about including everyone through charity. Technology. It made China a world power. Trust. Alibaba showed China and showed the world that a Chinese business could compete with the West and set global standards and come up with new ideas faster than Silicon Valley, win with more than just technology. This changed the way everyone thought. Age. Young people in Asia no longer said, I want to work at Google. They said, want to make something like Alibaba. You have seen the things. Let's now know the hidden values behind them. 1. Put customers first. If people are happy, money will come. Alibaba. Always put the buyer first with trust, refunds, and care. 2. Team. Second, our team is everything to us. Employees were given power and support too. Think big and be respected. 3. Investors. 3. Shareholders. People can't wait. Even after going. Jack Ma told investors, don't expect to make money in the short term. We're here to serve. For change quickly or die. Alibaba did. Move to mobile, change to fit. Faster than anyone else in the world. 5. Be humble. Even when you're on top. Jack. I'm just a teacher, Ma would say. I don't get tech. I get it. People. This humility was Alibaba's best quality. Power. In one of his last global, Jack Ma gave speeches before leaving. Said, I was never the smartest in my class. Jobs turned me down. I was nobody, but I wouldn't give up. He looked at the crowd and said, the rich do not own the future, the strong, but to those who have faith in their own right and begin something. That message became the heart of Alibaba. And today, in a small village somewhere, a girl is starting a business without any investors, no big team, just a phone, product, a dream, and she's using Alibaba. Let's look at the next 10 to 20 years. Years of Alibaba. 1 is that digital villages help farmers in Africa, India, and Southeast Asia sell. Training entrepreneurs in rural areas around the world. 2 smart supply chains in small towns, i.e. shopping that is tailored to you. Powered by AI that helps sellers make ads, pictures, and chatbots automatically, guessing what customers will need before they even search. 3. Stores that are good for the environment. Warehouses that are green and don't have plastic. packaging, and fleets of electric delivery trucks. For global talent platforms, students in faraway places where people can get services. A place for digital freelancers to work, competing with Fiverr, Upwork, and LinkedIn. There is more to Alibaba's future than just money. It's about people getting better. People like Alibaba for more than just tech, but because they see themselves in the story. Someone who didn't get a job. Mother trying to start a business on the side. A teacher and a student who didn't pass their tests. With a big idea. Someone who started late and was laughed at. A person who started with nothing. You still matter, Alibaba tells them. You can still win. Begin small. Think. Be big. Move quickly and never give up. The message is worth a lot. Let's end with 7 truths that will stay with you. 1. Begin with what you have. Jack Ma didn't have. No money, no code, no English degree. He began with what he had, which was his mouth and a dream. 2. The power of faith is more than capital. He didn't wait for people who put money into things. He waited for people who believed. 3. Build for other people, not just you. Alibaba always helps small sellers first, and that's why they stayed true. For have the guts to stand up to giants. He had a face. eBay, Amazon, Tencent, and even the government of China, and still stood tall. 5. Be like water. Jack Ma said, water is strong because it can move or it can flow. Be like water. That's how Alibaba made it through. 6. Not being successful it's not about winning, it's about staying. A lot of companies win once and then go away. Alibaba has been winning and is still standing, but for more than 25 years. 7. Go away. A legacy, not just a business. Alibaba won't be remembered for its site. People will remember it because it gave power to the people. That's real success. Alibaba is not a story. It's not magic. It's not by chance. It's the story of how faith and hard work plus the system can be beaten by the heart. It's about a man who was turned down by KFC, became the most powerful teacher the business world has ever known. And it's not over yet, because every time someone opens a store on Alibaba, time a student in a village does their first sale, every time someone dares to dream again, the story goes on. If you want to learn how to be successful, stories, and get better at English make sure to sign up right now.